All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is a Thursday. It is a Thursday. Lonix, it's good to see you. Howdy, Silas. Hey, Forsaken. Michael, Cerrone. Good to see everybody here. Not entirely sure what we're gonna do in PTU today. I'm not entirely sure what we've got to really left over to test, you know? Hey, Fish. Ah, yes, pre-Friday. You know, whatever happened to Rebecca Black? What's she up to? Cerrone, I think it is. I feel like there was mention of it. Hey, Rev. I don't know what I would do with it, though. I mean, I guess I could just contribute a body, but there's not much to test besides being present. Yeah, Fish, trade is still essentially dead. I wouldn't really worry about running any meaningful commodities right now. You know, the song Halloween by Aqua also takes place on a Friday. Just throwing that out there. It's my favorite Halloween song. Oh, Michael, that is weird. Hey, Dragnos. And just in case I can't, you know, get my max lift. Oh yeah, Cerrone. Like, I don't know if you got to see it the other day, but dude, like, okay. It can hold 128. Yeah, sure, it can hold that. But only 64 of that can be like 16s or 32s. The other part of it has to be 32 size 2 boxes. So half of your cargo is a bunch of size 2s. Nobody wants to move all that around. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like, I'm sorry, but no. Dimit isn't too bad, but I also did just get in. Yeah, Dragnos, is it really that bad? Ah, yeah, Nim, I'm not on tech preview. I'm just on regular PTU because I wanted to test out doing some hauling missions with the Zeus, just to see if it was, you know, is bad for that. Also, NPCs should not block access to these. Sorry, but like, I know that's supposed to be immersive, but there's certain things in the real world I feel like you should escape in video games, and waiting in a queue behind an NPC is one of those things that you should be able to escape. What? Did that NPC just wizard me? Did I just get misty stepped by a frickin' wizard? What sort of Dungeons and Dragons bullshit was that? Is that beeping's not gonna stop, is it? That beeping. Yeah, Lonix, you're right. Hold on, here we go.
That's Star Citizen, baby.
Yeah, but Silas, he didn't have to freaking teleport me into the air. Hold on, I'm just gonna backspace to see. Fish, I will do it again. Just, wow. Wow. I can't believe I got wizarded. Like, that was vile. That was disrespectful to my autonomy, to my place in the universe, like the physical place in the universe. Unfortunately, he decided that I should be 40 feet elsewhere. Okay, well, at least the sound is over. Just... that was incredibly rude. Oh, hey, look at that. I think I lost my, I lost my stuff. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's at the bottom. I'm not scrolling all the way down there to find out. There's some thin legs. Need legs. There we go. I mean, Babutsu, I wanted to be, you know, inside the sky bus. Have an attachment inside you. It looks like you do. All right. Nope, you're how I escaped. Also, Sidith, Babutsu. Shark, good to see you guys. To Raymond. And yes, Raymond, meds have been taken. You know, Dragnos, we could do a Zeus suit for the Zeus. We could. We could. It's just so bulky. Hey, Fallen. Yeah, Raymond, why not? It's the first helmet I clicked. Hey, Ali. Yes, meds have been taken. I live another day. I actually was on the phone for a long time with insurance today. They've assigned me a caseworker. Oh, he's gone. The wizard's gone. Wizards suck. Close the door, close the door, close the door. Anyway, like, they've assigned me this caseworker, and she calls me like once a month. And it's weird, because, like, it's almost like they care. Or maybe I just have too many things going on where it's like, yeah, make sure he doesn't fall through the cracks. But it's like, I never knew insurance to have a caseworker or someone who actually follows up and is like, hey, did they ever send you this stuff? Like, that's weird, right? Like, usually they don't care. But I feel like this lady cares. She remembers that I have a cat. Hey, biker. Hey, Jackal. Mabutsu, we're in PTU. I mean, Fish, I trust this one lady. Because it's always the same lady. She remembers that I have a cat. And she called today just to make sure that I actually got my glucose monitors from the company providing them because they were having some sort of tiff.
Inquire today to learn how you can invest in making our club your new home.
Oh, I'm sure they can get plenty of stuff on me to avoid a policy.
The ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
But if that's the case, I'll just, I don't know, go die on their front stairs or something.
From transforming worlds to
You know, Dragnos, he swiped me last night, begging for food. And then I got food for him, and he wouldn't eat it. He wouldn't eat it. Would not eat it.
Hey.
Ooh, well, that was weird. Not only would he not eat it, he snubbed it and waited for the dog to eat it, and then begged for food again. Like, we alternate between dry food and wet food, but he's been trying to decide when he gets food. Or, like, you know, what type.
Vehicle selected.
He's like, I want dry food now.
Your vehicle has been delivered to please.
Oh yeah, Fisher. Like insurance. Ooh.
Want your company to be in good company? Our corp's unique vertically integrated corporate parks offer amenities
Like,
such as resource sharing and logistical.
I've had issues with this company, this insurance company, but ever since I got this caseworker lady, like, things have actually been going pretty darn smooth. Oh,
Welcome
Fish, I
to
am
the ASOP
sorry,
vehicle
man.
retrieval system.
Poor man, dude.
It takes all of us working together to
How old were they?
vigilant and report possible threats every time.
Oh, 12 years. Still. It always... You know, that's the thing. Like, you could have a pet live like 30 freaking years, but it's never long enough, you know? Never enough. I mean, right now I miss some chat. I see the 2000 server. I do miss some chat though. Oh, fish head, dude, I can imagine. The passing of a pet is always especially hard on a child. Like, I remember the ones that I lost as a kid. Heck, I still got photos of them. You remember back in the 90s when people actually did, like, they'd go by the vet clinic and actually get pet portraits done? I actually still have those of, like, most of my pets from the 90s. They are hanging up on the wall. Like, you know, believe me, the pets that you have as a child are a very formative experience, and losing them is just not. Oh, obviously it's not a fun, you know. Well, that's the thing, like, you know, to everybody else in the world, like, to the whole world, any pet you have is going to be just a cat or just a random dog or whatever, but you know, it's your cat or your dog.
Take off complete.
I mean, that's part of it, you know. To the world, she's just a cat, but to you, she's the world.
Raised.
Well, Truxton, I'm glad to hear that you have survived. That's always the optimum outcome. Sad to hear about the power, though. Ooh, and the roof damage. That's going to be expensive. That's going to be very expensive. Oh, fish. Are you planning on maybe, getting another cat, or is it just too early to tell? Well, that's fair. Not sure I'll do another dog after this one. Loved having one growing up, but...
Please proceed to sign.
Ah, that's fair, Fish Head. That's usually the best way to go. I mean, Mabutu, that's fair. That's fair. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be lots of people waiting for roofers. I'm an idiot. I thought my gear was down already. Hey, Zum. Oh, Michael, I bet that's a vet bill right there. Ollie, I don't think they've been fixed yet. I think they're supposed to be fixed in today's patch. And yeah, Raven, like, my dog, I don't know, I think my dog was abused before we got her. Because she looks incredibly guilty about absolutely everything. And any sort of loud noises sends her hiding. Like, I was cooking the other day, and I dropped a tray. And she does this thing where she likes to lay under your feet in the kitchen just in case there's any scraps that she can get. So when I dropped this tray, it was like a loud clatter. And like she took off. And she was so scared that I could not tempt her back into the kitchen with chicken. And usually, you know, that dog will do anything for chicken. Oh, right. I did reset my account the other day. Boo. Hey, Mother Fig. You know, Lonix, I'm not entirely sure. I find them to be like, okay, there's some nice options with them, but I feel like they also have taken away a lot of options. Like, I cannot go through the MFDs and turn off specific components. Like, if I lose an engine or a thruster and my ship is spinning, I can't go into my MFDs and shut off another specific thruster just to even it out. There's a couple of other issues I have with it. I also feel like they've restricted the amount of MFDs, like they've taken away a lot. And I don't like that. Okay, well, we're still messed up, so I guess we're using the tiny tractor beam today. But, you know, the thing is, they could always add that stuff. So maybe it is a step in the right direction, and I'm just being an old fuddy-duddy. Hey, mother fig. And yeah, Raymond, like, my dog gets out of the house. She gets multiple walks a day. In fact, we actually just had a fence installed. We just fenced in the backyard so she could actually run free. But she gets a walk like 2 or 3 times a day, and I'll take her around the neighborhood. So she gets out of the house. And now that we've got a fence, like, she can run around in the backyard. Yeah, Lonix, for a larger ship, definitely makes more sense for an engineering station, but like, it usually affects smaller ships more, like a Mustang. You lose one of those engines, you need to disable the main and pretty much go on your maneuvering thrusters, or a Buccaneer. And we don't have that option right now. But the keyword there is right now. Michael, right now, I don't think you can. I will say the Zeus does make excellent use of its space. That's one of my big issues with the Spirit. Like, with how huge the wings are on the Spirit series. The Zeus, for as tiny as the package is, really does work well with the limited space. I mean, Raymond, I don't enjoy the time outside when it's hot. I mean, the exercise, yeah, sure. But, you know, once it's over like 70 degrees, I'm not a fan. Why is that so loud? Jesus, why is that so loud? Yeah, Parker, you're not missing much, man. I would catch some snoozles while you can. You know, Coyote, I would probably say the Freelancer Max. Like, this is nice and all, but I really feel like the Max is the superior option. What? You wanna... Yeah? D, no. Fuel prices are not fixed yet. They'll be fixed in today's patch, hopefully. Yeah, like the Max technically has access to less cargo, but it's just, I feel like it's a lot easier than the CL. You don't have to pre-plan as much. Oh, there goes this mission. Yeah, you know, also that's another thing, Coyote. The Max can fit larger vehicles. Old Zeusy cannot. Yeah, it's alright, I just hold on to it. Like, it might be years, but it will eventually get an update. No, Michael, I get it. And the thing about group play too, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but every time you try to meet up with people in game to do something, every person adds like an hour. Because it's like, oh, you know, let's meet up. Oh, I'm at New Babbage. Where are you? ArcCorp. Okay, well, I'll meet you at Herd L1 or whatever. Then, oh, a thing happened. And, oh, I'm still trying to get off planet. Oh, I'm getting kitted up. And by the time you meet up, an hour has gone by. And then it's like, oh, I fell out of the ship. Oh, I fell through the geometry. Oh, I fell through the planet. Oh, I got disconnected. And then you gotta, you know, either that person has to wait on you or you gotta wait on them. And it's like the more people you add, the more server-side shenanigans happen. And just trying to do anything with a big group is almost impossible. And like when you can pull it off is great. But oh, just all the setup and hoping that nothing bad happens. It's just so difficult. Hey, Rust. You know, Justin, just a hunch. Just a hunch. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but just a hunch. Oh no, now my beam is stuck. Usually doesn't happen until I get older. There we go. Well, I lost that mission. Yeah, exactly, Silas. Like when people are like, oh, we got 100 people together to do this thing, and it's like, cool. Jesus, that is loud. Like, cool. That sounds like a nightmare. No, thank you. Gotta wait for those to repopulate. Raymond, a little bit, yes. So they've made it to where left click is like your, like, traversal thing, and then right click is just one click to, you know, tractor things around. No longer has an aim down sight that I can find. Oh, it's alright. Thank you, Bev. Thank you, Sarite. And you know, I will. I'm a big fan of Flight Simulator. Big fan, and especially now that this one I think is going to have like actual missions. Like I hear it'll have like a progression system similar to like Neofly, which if someone could give me more details on that, I'd be greatly appreciative because I have not really looked at it recently. Ooh, still bounty hunter, okay. Oh, another 30K. But yeah, sorry, like I love Flight Simulator. And I like actually really enjoy doing the challenges. Especially stuff with Neofly. Like doing that little progression system where it's like, oh, I'm taking jobs, I'm saving up money, I'm buying an airplane. Now, I will admit that I like sticking with, you know, with props or turboprops. Like, I'll fly a 737. I just don't wanna. I'm a fan of that, you know, that twin turboprop look. Coyote, it's 176. Although 6 of those are in the back in that tiny protected space. Cloud, I'm not, but I might as well be. We've had 2 back-to-back 30Ks. Yeah, exactly, Zom. Like landing in those tiny little, you know, dirt road runways up in the mountains. There's actually, when we took that trip to North Carolina last month, we drove by this super tiny airport that you would pretty much have to dive into and immediately brake. Like, you're only getting in there with like a little Piper Cherokee. And it's like, man, I gotta go look that up and fly to it in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Like, that is a challenging airfield. Ooh, Raymond. You know, Raymond, I've got a funny story about Silent Hill. I want to say it was the first one. I was playing one of them over at a friend's house on PS1. And it was the one where you had the radio where it would start to play static if enemies were nearby. And there were those awful flying pterodactyl bat-like enemies. And anyway, I'm a kid, and I'm playing this game, and I'm terrified. And I can hear, you know, the radio, like the static is getting louder and louder, like there's something approaching. And I'm terrified. And I'm the only person in the room. My friend had went out to the living room a while back. And as the radio is getting more staticky, suddenly I feel claws sinking into my head. And I scream, drop the controller, grab whatever is on my head, and launch it at the TV. Well, it turns out my friend had snuck back into the room and was carrying his cat. And he waited until the static on the radio went off and then threw his cat on my head. Which was a terrible thing of him to do, especially since I ended up throwing the poor cat at the TV. But, oh, it terrified the crap out of me. Oh, it was the scariest game experience I've ever had. Yeah, Red. Although I'm not on the 2000 preview right now. I'm on just regular PTU. I'm not I'm not on the big boy server. I thought about it, but I went to test some hauling missions with the Zeus. Sadly, with the back-to-back 30Ks, I'm waiting for missions to repopulate. $70? Sorry, is that an original copy or for the remake? And Raven, it was terrible. It was awful. You know what? I'm just gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna go somewhere else. See if I can get me. Lonix 50%. Like, let's say you stick to 16s, Lonix. You can only fit 4 16s. So 64, which is half your cargo. Like, if you skip out on the 2 SCU boxes and only load the big ones, you're missing half your cargo. Yeah, like you're literally losing half your cargo.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Have they repopulated? There we go, and still waiting for hauling. That was not abandoned. You 30K'd on me. Yeah, Lonix, it's a lot. It's a lot more than I'd rather than I'd like it to be. There we go. Hey, Lathamir. Speaking of hauling, I gotta order some knuckle couplers and replace some of the couplers on my engines. I programmed my my layout last night so I could independently control 2 of my engines. Got that up and running, which is nice.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
But the couplers on one of my engines is just simply not compatible with the rest of my cars. Speaking of, if anybody has any extra in-scale model railroading stuff they're not messing with, I'll gladly take it off your hands.
Landing.
Especially if people are getting out of DCC stuff. Oh no, Ray, but it was definitely funny after the fact. It's just, you know, as a child, and all the horror already setting in. Just the cat really added to the immersion. Biker, it depends on the scale you're going with. I think HO scale is 187. I mean, John, I don't see why not. Is that coming up? Can I tell it to come up? I forget what the scale for in scale is. Of course, you've got like Z scale and O scale and G scale and I think TT scale and oh boy. Holy crap, this actually works. Oh, biker, it's technically all of it, I think. Now, I'm not the best person to ask, but... Yeah, see, like, I never got into O scale. I always had HO as a kid. But I found out about N scale and it fascinated me because it was so tiny. You could, you know, stick it anywhere. Ah, thank you, Lonix. Of course, you know, they've got other crazy scales out there now. Like S scale became a thing, Z scale. Yeah, Coyote, I have no idea why it's so loud in here. Like, I don't feel like it was this loud before. You know, V, I don't know what it is either, but I'm hearing it. Like, it sounds like a thruster firing off. Brandon, what year are you in, buddy? Yeah, that one right there. See if it does it again. Yeah, no idea what that is. I mean, Brandon, it's still in theaters here. Like, I would see it in theaters just for the theatrical experience. But, you know, if you're one of those people who hate people at the cinema, which I understand because people are awful at the cinema, it should be coming to streaming really soon. Raymond, that is true. And the cool thing about model trains versus Star Citizen, check this out. If you order a model locomotive, like let's say a GP38, you don't have to wait 2 to 5 years before you can actually play with it. And it doesn't mysteriously become something else entirely by the time you get it. Like, you don't order a GP38 and end up with a Dash 9. You get a GP38. Like, not only do you get the thing when you buy it, but it comes exactly how it was pitched to you. You know, instead of, you know, maybe shipping messing it up. Like, is it expensive? Yes, very. But you can hand make a lot of the scenery and whatnot. Peyote, is it already on Amazon Prime? My God, that was fast. Do you guys remember when you had to wait like almost a year for movies to come out?
Thank you, and please visit again.
Biker, that's fair. You know, there's a little, I don't know if I'd call it a museum here in Hot Springs called Tiny Town. And it's a model railroad that's been going since like the 50s, 60s. And everything on it is basically handmade. Like no models, you know, no like buildings that were pre-built or whatever. Like everything was hand built by the guy. So like there's like gumballs that are painted green, so they're bushes and things like that. And not everything is to exact scale, but it's still really cool looking. Hey, Ken. And drop the fun is, you know, not wasting 2 to 5 to 10 years. That's a weird cloud.
Quantum drive is now off.
Oh man, Lonix, I have been avoiding Satisfactory. I just know by the time I get into it, I'm going to lose everything else. Nice, Ken. Oh, thank you. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I think they've opened it up to what, wave 4 now? Is it all waves? Yeah, see, Lonix, that's the part that gets me. Like, I know what I've done in Space Engineers. And by that, I mean nothing
Please proceed to
productive.
assigned landing bay.
Landing gear deployed.
Thomas, currently we're in the CL. Because, you know,
Warning.
more haulage.
Leaving safe zone.
But, I was going to test it out with hauling contracts. But I've been getting a lot of 30Ks. And I did a reset earlier, so I've only got the tiny jobs available. I don't like that drop again. Well, yes, all the space station markers are currently fixed. Keyword there is currently. Jen, it's alright. Like, if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it a... I don't know. Maybe a 6, a video game journals or video game reviewer 7, maybe. Like, the Zeus itself has an excellent layout for the amount of space that it has. Like, the no space is wasted. Wow, we have no range with that. Like, the space is not wasted. However, the main feature of the CL, the cargo area, really leaves a lot to be desired. Like, it holds 128 SCU, but half of that has to be 2 SCU boxes, which I find to be infuriating to load. You're telling me half my cargo has to be piddly 2 SCU boxes? Like, out of 128 SCU, only 64 can be large boxes? I find that to be horrendous. And loading it isn't exactly fun. I don't know about melt. I mean, what I would play around with it. Now that you've got PTU access, I would play around and see how you feel about it. Because my take on it might not be your take on it. I mean, Biker, I could try it, but I don't think it'll work for anything. Also, I don't want to accidentally, you know, run over my foot and die with it. I mean, Snossums, maybe. I mean, they've got a 2,000 player server testing right now, and they seem to be going okay. Seems to be patching it as they go. Lonix, when you're buying cargo, you can pick the size you want. If you're doing hauling missions, it'll let you know what they've got to work with. But you can't pick there. Okay. Like, if I rock up to a trading console, I can be like, yeah, give me 3 8s, 6 2s, and 21s. Oh, Daryl, what time zone are you usually in? There's definitely a lot of people that are always looking for other people to play with. The big challenge is finding people that you can stand to play with, who also have the same time availability as you. Like, sometimes when I play Helldivers, every now and then I'll just, you know, jump in with some random public people and, you know, it'll be super fun. Have a great time and then just never see each other again. Now, Lonix, if you're doing auto loading, not manual loading, you can still choose the boxes. The problem is you have to wait for those boxes to finish loading and then load the next set of boxes. So if I went with the CL, I'd have to wait like 2 minutes for it to load, you know, the 416s. And then once that finished, put in another order for all the 2 SCU boxes. Ah, 403. All right, so you're in my time zone then, Central. Also depends on the type of gameplay you're looking for. What is this? Can I actually bring this up? What is this? Aw. It's adorable. I can't do anything with it. Can't move it. Oh, time to send that back down. You know, I've never once decorated my hangar, and I doubt I ever will. I think it's the old model, Raymond. Now, John, I will do that. Like, if I had access to that many turtles, I would do that. Yeah, Michael, like bunkers are good because you can get a lot of people involved. Like, you know, you get your Overwatch, the people that take out the turrets, the ground team. You ever notice though that people like to make that overly convoluted? Like, they want to make it more complicated so it's cool, but it gets to the point where it's overly complicated.
Landing gear raised.
Oopsie doodle, not my ladder. Get in there, ladder. You know, the purple and green does look really good on the Zeus, but I really enjoy these silly danger stripes. Like, why are those danger stripes there? I feel like they should be more, I don't know, closer to the thrusters, where someone might, I don't know, toast their face. That's right, Seth. See if we get some more hauling jobs. Or I don't know, maybe we go buy our own cargo. Yeah, Michael. And, you know, the rules change every patch. So it's like, oh, guys, don't worry, I brought all cannons. And it's like, yeah, no, cannons aren't the meta anymore. Oh, I'm rocking the P8. And it's like, nah, we're not doing the P8 anymore. Hey, I stomped this guy in the face. How come he got back up? It's like, oh, you can't do unarmed takedowns anymore. Only knockouts. Or how come I can't get my inventory to work? Oh, inventory doesn't work like that anymore. Just constant, all the time.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
I notice my frames are still going down here. It's like I can still target all these. Still slowing us down. Yeah, curious. I mean, Michael, it shouldn't, but Star Citizen has had kookier issues. I mean, there was that time where if your login for your actual computer, like your username, had special characters, then you couldn't log into the game for some reason.
Landing gear deployed.
Oh, dang it.
Landing gear raised.
I mean, Raymond, there's a lot of orgs that allow people to be super casual about things.
Landing and wait. Have a pleasant stay.
That's a lot of jobs for rookie rank. Yeah, all right, so for example, let's go do this job. 104 SCU. I should be able to fit that, right, Lodix?
You are clear to launch.
Hey, Scott. What you got to say about Taipan? You mean that we've pretty much been shuttered for like a year because trade has been
Please
dead?
visit again.
There's no point in doing anything? Oh, Wolf, I know there are 8 SCU boxes. I'm just gonna show how bad the grid is.
Auto drive is now on. Auto drive is now off. Landing gear raised. Auto drive is now on.
Correct, Lonix. This will be a, most likely a multi-trip. Which is fine.
Auto drive is now off.
Hey, Nez.
Auto drive is now on. Auto drive is now off.
Arc L2. Yeah, it does. I heard about that. Excuse me. I just wanted to test out some missions. Scott, it's had a few 30Ks. So a little bit of instability, but
Please proceed to assigned landing.
they are testing multiple things at once, so...
Landing gear deployed.
Come on. There we go. Am I lined up? No.
Landing complete. Stay.
Engines off.
Ooh, Vault, was that what they're doing too? Yikes, good luck. Yeah, see, 13 boxes, all 8 SCU. Which means this is going to be a multi-trip. I wonder. Oh, that's lame. Oh, that is lame. Okay, so this right here. You can stick boxes right there. But apparently these grids are separated. So I can't actually load an 8 right there. I can load 2s, but I can't have like an 8 crossing over it. I mean, Zero, it's not a bad ship. Like, don't take my disappointment with it as a reason to not get it. It is a good ship. I was expecting more out of the cargo grid than what we got. But also in its defense, it is a ship that has been converted for cargo, not a dedicated hauler design from the ground up. So that's, you know, that is something to consider. Like, it's basically like someone took a B-17 and gutted it for civilian transport, you know? Like, it can haul stuff, but it's not a dedicated hauler. Yeah, but Sith, I wanted it to attach, you know? Oh, Saron, sadly, that's gonna be a while. Especially for those, like, larger missions. No, the Taurus is excellent. If you're looking for something, you know, that's like a medium hauler. Like, I know it's an old ship, but man, oh man. You cannot beat the Taurus for the amount of cargo it can carry in its package size. I'll let that stay there. You know, I could probably fit a couple of more in here, ungridded, but I'm not gonna... You know what? Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will. Hey, Persuader. Yeah, not feeling it? I don't blame you. Tell us why, though. Am I gonna be able to? I might be able to fit through there. I'm gonna load these off kilter to see if I can actually squeeze through. Can I? Oh, yep. I can rabbit jump through there. Okay, so we'll just send this back down. Come back for it. You know, Seneth, my grandfather worked for the post office. And there was always this, like, weird sanctity of the mail in our household. Like, you don't mess with the mail. It was all about the mail. Like, it was the most sanctified part of our government. Like, if you couldn't trust the mail, you couldn't trust anything. That basically the government of the United States of America made a promise that if you put a letter in the mail with enough postage, they would make sure, no matter what, that it reached its destination. And as a kid, that made me so weirdly patriotic for a mail system.
Engines are on. Take off complete.
Which is funny, because at the same time, he used to use the scanner at the post office to print counterfeit $20 bills. And they weren't good ones. Like, basically he would make it super great on one side and then blank on the other. And then he would just drop them around town. Or he had one that he pinned up on his dartboard and said that anybody who could hit a bullseye could have it. And then they would hit that bullseye and grab it and realize that it was a fake. And, you know, while it was, I'm sure, an excellent practical joke, something about using post office supplies to counterfeit $20 bills seems a little against the sanctity of the post office and illegal. Yeah, Persuader, the grid is weird. The grid is very wonky. I feel like the grid could be better arranged. Especially with the teeny tiny door. Scott, maybe? It's just having 32 boxes in 2 SCU format just seems like a waste of time. Like, I think I'd rather it be less, but more convenient to load. Oh, yeah, Arcturus. Yeah, I figured mail gets, you know, I've received bad mail before, you know, crumpled or beat up. Oh, yeah, Dean. See, Dean, like, I've been waiting for it for so long. But if you think about it, like, in real life, we have built so many things involved with loading to make loading easy as possible, like putting things on pallets so you can rapidly fill a semi-truck, or the way that a semi-truck marries to a dock so you can just quickly walk into it instead of having to go up and down a ramp. And sadly, Star Citizen does not have that. We basically got a transportation system and did not build ships based on that. I mean, the Caterpillar, that's my favorite, you know? It's my absolute favorite ship to, oh, are we really gonna do this today? Favorite ship to fly. That's what I love to trade in. But, it's a pain to load. It's terrible to load. It's the worst to load. Like, it has such wasted space and awkward. Gold, I will take that so long as I can play an orc. I mean, Scott, there is a balance. There's a balance, you know, like, I would rather lose like 100 SCU on the Caterpillar than load the 72 SCU boxes and like 21 SCU boxes that it takes.
Quantum drive is now off.
Because it takes me the exact same amount of time it takes to load a 2 SCU as it does a 16. And the whole time that I'm loading all these little piddly boxes, anybody can just walk into my ship, and I can't stop them. Wolf, I'm talking the... Like, I don't know about like a particular tribe, but definitely like the 40k orcs. Like, I want my airplane to fly because I believe it will fly. Like, I want to play the orcs that both loathe and love Commissar Yarrick. Yeah, exactly, Seneth. Lonix is just a regular version because it holds more cargo. I really wanted both. But really, there's no need for me to have both. Yeah. Assuming we ever actually get the Ironclad.
Landing gear deployed.
Yeah, Semi. The tractor beams on the Caterpillar are quite useless. We can just Dorito fit through here.
Safe zone.
Sure we can, since the door gets wider as we approach.
Landing complete.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Engines are off.
No, I get it, Michael. I really wanted both, but it was a big price tag, and after my cat made me full purchase a Warbond Ironclad on accident, I was like, well, there's no way I'm getting both now. Well, Lonix, that was an idea. That was definitely an idea. I mean, Gold, he does get all the blame because he's the one that did it. And Persuader it is. Like, it's not a bucket, that's for sure. Like, I like it. It's just the grid orientation messes me up. Come on. Like, I'm so tired of grids that are 3 high. Just make it 2 or 4. Like, that's all I ask. Yeah, Lodix. I mean, like, I've got things that I could always CCU from. Or 2. I just like the sheer amount of cargo that it can hold, you know, like that 1500. Which, granted, will take forever to load. Yeah, but Scott, the raft is so easy to load. And it can actually hold 3 32 containers. Come on. I mean, gold, that's fair. But you can still get out with the ladder. I do like that they gave it a secondary entrance. Really? Wow, they really... they really hurt the multi-tool. Yeah, gold. That sounds about right. Because when I first saw the stats page, I was like, wow, 128 SCU. And now that we're designing for the whole freight system in mind, that definitely means that it'll hold for 32 SCU boxes. Boy, were we wrong. That's true, Coyote. So does the Freelancer Max. Yeah, like the Corsair, oh my god, like the Corsair is like the only 3 high grid that I'm okay with. Because it's so easy to load. Like the Corsair is just such an easy loader. Alright, let's go grab the rest. I mean, Scott, that is true. Is there a way to send this up? I can exit ship, but can I close it? No, I cannot. See, Arcturious, I was holding out hope. I was holding out for a hero. Hey, Gadget. Not so bad, all things considered. Just playing around with the Zeus.
Landing gear raised.
Yeah, Paddle, like... It'd be nice if a lot of stuff got cleaned up. I feel a lot of the stuff is blurry for fidelity's sake, but... I don't really know how I feel about that. You know, Jackal, that's a good question. I feel like the Corsair is easier to load because you can approach the cargo on the grid from any direction. The Taurus can hold more, but the Corsair, you can just load and unload that thing from literally any direction inside and not really have an issue. I mean, Lonix, that's the problem. It is pretty standard. Like, if you look at the M2, it has a 3-high grid. So there's just a crap ton of size 4s and 2s covering the top of the grid on the M2, which means it's a pain in the butt to load or unload. And yeah, Dean, like, that's the thing. I don't think I'd ever actually fully utilize the cargo grid on the CL. Like, it's nice that it's there. But it seems like such a pain to take full advantage of it. Yeah, and the Taurus, yeah, the Taurus, oh god, the Taurus tractor beam is probably the best situated tractor beam in the game. Semi, the fuel costs are still messed up. I don't think they're fixing that till tonight's patch. Yeah, like the Taurus, oh my god. Taurus tractor beam is just so good. It is annoying how well placed it is. Like, the Cutlass actually has a really good tractor beam now. Yeah, Paddle. Okay, so here's my issue, Paddle. Here's my issue with these. For those of us who have played Elite Dangerous, the MFDs in Elite, you can just use your directional keys to go over to quickly adjust. However, these are set up for using mouse. So, like, you know, I'm fighting, I'm doing stuff, and I'm feeling kind of cool. And suddenly, oh no, I get shot. I need to divert power. I gotta use my mouse and come over here, which means that I'm going in a straight line and just taking shots as I'm doing all this stuff. Which means... Oh, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, man. Dude, as much as I want to say the Zeus CL, like, the C1 is just so nice. I would say try out the Zeus. Like, I would lean slightly towards the Zeus. Slightly. Very slightly.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Just because you can pack in slightly more if you really need to. But my issue with these right here is I feel like it pretty much requires a co-pilot so they can play with this. Like, this, I feel like needs to be constantly micromanaged, and you can't do that as a solo pilot. Like, you pretty much have to have a power jockey back there in the co-pilot seat micromanaging this stuff in combat for you. And then that also requires communication. You know, Chark, I don't think it does. I don't think it can take, like, an Ursa. I think it'll take a Cyclone. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong there. Gold, is that plan to get us to multi-crew? Like, the cool thing that I love about the C1 is it has 2 dedicated areas to just plop down 232 boxes. And you have unfettered access to the whole thing. While I can still fit 232s in here, and then pour on more cargo, the layout just doesn't sing for me, you know? Like, this cargo grid does not spark joy. Like, that's it. That's it. Like, I have more cargo, but it's more annoying cargo. Lonix, yeah, it actually works now. Co-pilots can actually work them. You know, we haven't done the Fury test yet. And Cankles, that is fair. Like, you know, you don't want to invalidate all the other ships. It just... like I said, you know, it's a cargo converted, not a dedicated hauler. So that's really the part that irks it for me. Is the conversion leaves a lot of growing pains. Now, D in the raft is nice. Like, it's only 96, but you can access it rapidly. And with it being, you know, outside, it's just much easier to load and unload. I will say, stacking this grid 3 high when the roof is this low is a crime. All right, let's go drop these off. Dean, without the top cargo layer, let me do math right quick. Because it's 5 wide. Five wide, 8 deep. That's like 40 SCU, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say 40. Can they appear to be? When I first started, we had some 30Ks, but servers have smoothed out. Hey, wobbly. Not a whole lot's up.
Thank you. And please visit again.
Just doing some of the beginner hauling missions. Now, Wolf does have a point. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that like to overload your C1. AJ, I'm looking at you. And when you do that, it makes it a little difficult to exit the ship. The Zeus, while it allows you to completely stuff the back area where you cannot get past anything, at the very least, allows you a secondary exit so you don't have to worry about all that. You got your ladder, your docking port. Oh, Wolf, yeah. So odd the Taurus is just full of holes, you know? Yeah, see, Scott, that's why you should always buy your cargo in one SCU boxes. That way, when the pirates see it, they go, oh, no.
Bottom drive is now on.
It's like, I don't want to move all that. Thank you, Wigan. Thank you for catching that. I was wondering if I could get that in there or not.
Bottom drive is now off.
Feel like. Okay, I think we're good. I will say this thing also boogies fairly well in atmosphere. Yeah, Dean, I do like that feature. Being able to walk around the top of your ship should definitely be put in more. Oh, John. Good luck, buddy. I would just bring a big hauler. I've gotten that from time to time, and I am sorry. Where are they gonna put me? Come on. Oh, Garen. I could go for some lasagna. I think all I've had today is some sunflower seeds.
Warning. Leaving safe zone. Landing gear deployed.
Oh yeah, Wigan. Yeah, that's like one of the huge features with it. If only deliveries at that. Realize that. There's little glass tubes right there where you're not tubes but windows where you can see all the missiles. I'm sorry, but is that supposed to be accessible? Like, can I just like bring in more missiles and just chuck them down there? Interesting. Wigan, you can technically deliver at 0, but the more that you don't deliver, the more it'll hurt you. Like, if you're off by 1 box and there's like 100 boxes, like, you're still gonna get a lot of rep, but I've had deliveries where I delivered 90% and then hit submit, and I still got dinged. Oh, nice, Dex. Oh, sorry that I didn't participate, but oh well. I mean, Wobbly, it's got a very elite dangerous design to it. Like, it's definitely Dorito shaped. Like, I would not call it a beautiful ship. I would call it a serviceable ship. I mean, it's a little bit of an OSHA violation. A little bit, you know, maybe it's you know, maybe it's for quick access. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Hey, Dean! Oh, thank you, Dean. Thank you, man. You know, Dean, that actually might solve my my food question right there. That's quesadilla times right there. So why is the animation not playing? String Elements has been having a time today. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, man. Oh god, or a pizza. I have been kind of feeling pizza-y. After Gieran mentioned lasagna, it's like, man, something with red sauce sounds nice, you know? Persuader, I actually did try with the Atlas. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It had a few issues because, you know, how slim this is. It definitely struggles with 16 SCU boxes. But as far as, like, loading its stuff to the brim, I have not yet. Like, I unloaded with one, but I did not load with one. And even unloading with one, there were issues. So yeah, like, it can be used, but you're gonna use a mix of all the tractor beams, really stuffing this thing to the brim. Hey, Brian. See you, man. You know, I don't mind it. I don't mind. Like, I've got some issues with it. I don't know how long you've been here to hear about me complaining about how difficult it is to stuff. And Squirrel, it's good to see you. Yes, pills have been taken. Pills have been taken. Oh, Wobbly. Thank you, Wobbly. Thank you, man. And not yet. It's getting close, although according to some people here, every day is my birthday. Thank you, Wobbly. You know, Scott, I would take that. Heck, at this point, I just want the, those little hover trolleys to work. Hey, whole armor. And Brian, as far as I don't know if you've actually got to tell you what, Brian, give me a second. I'll give you the tour. Gear and I took both pills and had a great time. So, Brian, I don't know if you've got the turret yet, but this is the cockpit. Your gunner seat, which the turret is on the bottom, with a very limited firing arc. Co-pilot, which also operates your tractor beam. Yeah, Lodix. You know, I was thinking about taking a trip, but I feel like that would kind of, you know, ruin some of the opportunities for IAE. Wigan, to which part? Now I'm not gonna walk around a whole lot, but you can access the outside of your ship from the airlock, and it's a really nice airlock. We're going back inside now, though, because you know. So yeah, you've also got an outside ladder for your secondary entrance. Engineering terminal, some of your component access. You see, Wigan, I can never remember which pill is the one that, you know, makes you go back to the life you were living, and which one is the one that makes you, you know, wake up and see the real world. So just take both. To be safe, just take both. Just take both. And you just have a very good time. And then this is the lockers, the sleeping area. You get a nice little shelf with the CL. Lose one bed for a shelf. Bathroom. Yeah, standard bathroom. Pop-out toilet. So not bad. And then over here you have the truncated cafeteria. Which really, you're not losing a lot. You're basically losing this. Like on the regular, on the ES, you've got that over there, and then this. So it's, Hey! Thank you, Silas. Although, you and I both know it's not my birthday. Thank you. Thank you, man. And yeah, like this is the expanded cargo hold. That's pretty nice. I have issues with the cargo though. Yes, and it does have a landing light, which only turns on when you drop your landing gear, which is quite nice. I will say that I have issues with the way the SCU is oriented, Brian. Because, like, if you want to haul large boxes, like 16 SCU size boxes, you can only fit 4 of those in here. So, half your cargo can be big boxes, which is 64 SCU. The other half has to be size 2s, or a few size 4s, along the very top. Which gets annoying. Oh, thank you, Garrett. Although I've still got time until the real birthday. Actually, Brian, I wanted to ask you a question. Like, I know you're on those BNSF locomotives. What do you know what model they got you on? I recently got back into model railroading, and I've been making a list of locos to pick up, and it's going to be a while before I can, you know, pick them up because locomotives are expensive. Because I kind of wanted to recreate the consist that hauled me into Chicago. But also wanted to see what they had you on. If it was interesting enough, maybe pick one up. I say that. I just picked up a locomotive the other day, but it was super cheap and on sale. Alright, what are we gonna do now? What is my rep at in PTU? Still a trainee. Wow. I guess I have to do 3 missions after all. Or have I only done 1? I think I may have only done 1. You know what? I'll do this one. We'll go to Arc 4 and L5 for our rookie rank. Ah, that's fair, Brian. I didn't know if you had like a dedicated engine for it or not. Or at least, you know, like give me a snapshot of the type of livery. So I noticed there was a few different BNSF liveries they had rocking around.
Is now on. Auto drive is now off. Landing gear raised.
Sorry. You guys have to put up with me talking about model railroad stuff for a while. Ooh, Spokane! Oh, I guess it could be worse. Could suffer listening to me talk about D&D.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Sure hope they fix the station jug. That is annoying.
Landing gear deployed.
You know, Wolf, I played a lot of the first edition of Pathfinder. And truth be told, I think I prefer that over D&D. I have not messed with the second edition yet. But I've played a lot of 5th edition, 4th edition, and 3.5. The thing is, the folks that I'm playing with right now are still fairly new to the mechanics of D&D. So we're sticking with 5th edition for simplicity's sake. Because as much as I love 1st edition Pathfinder, once you start hitting them higher levels, you basically have to do algebra to figure out all your bonuses and minuses. Oh, really, Brian? Well, once you get through it, tell us how you like it. Seriously, weird thruster boost sound every time you cross the threshold. You guys hear that, right? That one. Every time. You know, Brian, if you enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3, there's another game, and it doesn't have the production value that Baldur's Gate did. But there's another game on Steam called Solasta. And Solasta is probably the absolute closest you will ever get to 5th edition in a video game format. Like, because it goes on the grid system. And, like, you can cast spells, you know, in the middle of the air. So it makes it a heck of a lot easier to adjust hitting things with a fireball. Got multiple campaigns now if you pick up the DLC. Like I said, not as flashy, not as good looking as Baldur's Gate 3. Not as many, I would say, you know, dialogue or choice options. But as far as like an actual D&D based video game, and especially not having the budget that Baldur's Gate had, Solasta is still an amazing game and very replayable. I've played a lot of it with friends, and it is a fun experience. Definitely suggest picking up all the DLC, especially when it's on sale. I think anybody would benefit from playing Solasta, especially if you want to figure out how 5th edition works. Like, they've had to change up a few of the subclass options just because they don't have the rights. But yeah, it's quite fun, and I think a very good teacher.
Engines are on. You are ready to
That's it, Brian. You got the spelling correct. Like I said, it's not as pretty. Definitely not as pretty. Oh man, Dean GURPS. Good old GURPS. What about Traveler? Any of you guys ever hear anybody play Traveler here? Traveler was probably my all-time favorite tabletop RPG. In fact, that's where my moniker comes from. First character I ever made for Traveler was a character named Jack Axton, who I stole most of the name off the World War II memorial for a guy named Harry P. Baxton, but nobody has to tell Harry. But anyway, God, I loved playing Traveler, but it is very, very difficult finding people who, one, know what Traveler is, and two, are interested in it. Hold up, Wolf, wasn't that on Sega Genesis? I feel like I played a ROM for that on my PSP. Wobbly, not yet. I've been meaning to pick it up, but I've had so many games to play. Like, I keep going back to Mech Warrior. Or Railroader. God, I keep going back to Railroader. I've put so many hours in Railroader, and it's literally just moving freight cars back and forth, but I love it. Ah, Wolf, that's fair. I never could get into Spelljammer. Like, I tried Starfinder for a little bit, and it was alright, but I felt like if I was going to be in space, I wanted, like, a classical space setting. And I felt like Traveler offered more of what I was looking for. Not to mention a really easy D6 system, you know? See, Lonix, that's why I haven't bought it yet. Hey, Wade. Need to replace my Traveler books. I really also enjoyed how Traveler had the whole system for not only building a ship, but also giving it quirks. It's like, hey, you can make the ship cheaper if you make it older, but the older it is, like, the more quirks it has. Might use more fuel, or oh, it was in a famous battle, so it's well known, or, you know, oh, this breaks down all the time. And it's like, yeah. Make the ship old as possible. It's like, the cheaper the better. Screw ship shares. I want to straight own my ship. Let's go 13 million credits in debt. Hey, Chuck Wagon. Russell, do you mean for YouTube? Because for YouTube, I don't think so. For in-game, you know, yeah, but just video-wise, probably not. Yeah, see, Dean, like, whenever I'm doing stuff for D&D, you know how I have, like, the world creation in the back? And you can, like, roll for all the different quirks of the world, like, culture-wise and whatnot. I just use that for D&D. It's like, man, you guys rock up into a town, and it turns out that all forms of trade is very, like, has all these crazy rules and customs. And, like, everything coming through the port has to be blessed by, like, the local church. And that takes forever, and you gotta pay for the ceremony. But if you pay more, maybe they won't inspect it as much and look the other way. Oh, man, Wigan. Dude, when I was in high school, I had these two friends. And one of them, we go to his house, and he had this shed in the backyard. And it was like... It was big enough to hang out in, but it was still small. And we had this big table set up, and we'd play Risk, and it would go for, you know, days. And of course, I was always the jerk that tried to hold out in Australia. A Risk Legacy. You guys ever played Risk Legacy? You can actually change things up about the board, or the armies actually have different abilities and whatnot, and you can adjust them as you play, so every board version is different. And really, I feel like it's just Hasbro's take on getting people to buy the game multiple times, but
Please proceed to
really enjoyed playing Risk Legacy. I did, Raymond. I did see that announcement. It's weird that we got that one, like, what, 10 years after 2? And Raymond, it's fun. Like, you know, as far as, like, board games of world domination goes, it's done really well. I always felt like Viva La Vida by Coldplay would be an excellent advertisement song for Risk. You know, like, you got a battle going on in the advert with, like, dice rolling slowly overhead, you know, superimposed onto it. Wobbly, there's not a lot of music going on. There's a little bit, not a lot. Oh yeah, no, Lonix, I get that. I had a friend who was like that, especially when we played Legacy. Until we found out he was misinterpreting a lot of the rules on how his army worked. Actually, hold on. What am I dropping off here? Where am I? I'm at L4. Okay. Four to 4. Okay. Everything else goes to 5. Okay, so Wolf, you know how everyone's been having these big discussions about like having like lady space marines and how it goes against all the lore and whatnot, because obviously Games Workshop has always kept a tight leash on their lore. Like everyone has been fighting about having lady space marines or not. I figured it out. I have figured out lore accurate space marines that keeps to the traditional lore. And it's orcs. It's all about the orcs. You see, the orcs have that like wildly like wannabe like British Cockney accent, right? And they're always shouting Space Marines, but it comes out more like Spice Marines. Well, that's it. They refer to every single Space Marine as Marine. And since we all know that what orcs say and what orcs believe always comes out to be true because they are a Gestalt-based psychic race, the more they shout Space Marine, the more female Space Marines you get. It's all in the pronunciation. So yeah, it's all in the orcs. It's the orcs' fault. That's how you have lore-accurate female Space Marines.
Please visit again.
Because the orcs wad it into existence. Or you could just argue that Games Workshop changes the lore based on whatever they need, and it's not deified. Like, the lore should not be held up like the Codex Astartes. Alright, let's boogie out of here. You know, I think we are gonna do a pizza. And Garrett, have a good night, man. I'm sorry, I was going off on a tangent there.
What to drive is now
Oh, freedom, I do enjoy Risk.
here raised.
Man. Yeah, Wolf, like that's the thing. Like the lore for 40K should never be taken super seriously anyway. Like, to an outsider, it sounds like it's cooked up by a 5-year-old, you know? Like, you're telling me that you have a fungus-based species that uses teeth as a currency and are secretly the world's most powerful psychics, but they don't know they're psychic. So they just believe things into existence because they're like Parappa the Rapper. Or like, you know, when they say that the Space Marines have chain swords that cuts things down at the molecular level. Guess what? That's how physics works. Everything cuts at the molecular level. Like, that's That's how separating something works.
Auto fuel is at 50%.
I guess once I land at Arc L5, I can see how expensive fuel is one last time. Oh, Raymond, I'm sorry. You can't get like a Domino's delivered or anything? Yeah, like, you know, Necrons are fun. And, you know, Tyranids are, well, Tyranids. What I really enjoy with the 40K video games is listening to super serious space marines pronounce the names of orcs. Like, I think it's like Dawn of War 2. And some, you know, space marine is like, we're tasked with tracking down and taking out Rippa Stompa. It's like, oh, really? Say that again. Say that again. Oh, Raymond, I'm sorry. No, like, I don't know. What do you guys have over there? Kebab places? Those are always open late, right? We don't really have kebabs over here. Someone should open up kebab places. Like, I feel like America could really benefit from kebabs. Like, I see kebabs and they sound nice. And we probably have them more on, like, you know, the coasts. Silas, have you get to see Transformers 1 yet? Also, yes, while I have everyone here, please consider seeing Transformers 1 this weekend, if you have not already. Paramount cannot market a movie to save their life. It is a quite gripping tale, full of political intrigue, no humans whatsoever. It is the best Transformers movie ever made. Silas, if you have a Cinemark near you, I will literally give you 2 tickets to go see it. But it has to be a Cinemark because that's what I have all my movie points through. Ah, Raymond, that's fair. Like, I've got a lot of late night stuff open around here, but Malvern, you know, where I used to live, once it hit 9 p.m., everything was gone.
Auto drive is now off.
Ah, Raymond, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Do not blame you at all. Ooh, Bailey's. I was never a fan of Bailey's. Although, granted, I have not had it under the best of circumstances either. Like, I was out at a bar once and someone gave me a shot. It was Bailey's and a mix of something else. And have you ever had a shot or a drink so bad that it sobered you up? Oh, John. Hold on. How does he feel about, like, Ralph Bakshi movies? Oh, did I raise landing gear? I did.
Landing complete.
Oh, John, I hate that mentality. I'm sorry, dude. Like, it is, without a doubt, the best Transformers movie made. I don't like this dark, creepy freight elevator. See, that's so odd. Because, like, I really feel like this movie, it treats its audience better than the Michael Bay movies. Like, the Michael Bay movies are fun, but they're popcorn flicks, you know? Like, you don't really have to pay attention to the dialogue. It's like, oh, what's going on now? They're fighting about it. Like, this actually has story. Like, you actually need to pay attention. Like, there's plot. There's relevant things going on, you know? But, like, I know a lot of people feel like that. Now, why in the world is this not... FPS is changing. Honestly, Russell, I feel like the Freelancer Max is going to be okay. Like, this is a fun ship, but I don't think the Max is going to get dethroned. It'll have a contender, but I don't think you're going to have to worry about Maxes getting melted. At least in mass, anyway. John, that's fair. I think it just dropped.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries.
That's a fair cop. Not sure why my tractor beam's not working, but whatever. Honestly, John, it feels like they wanted to kill it to me. Because, like, the advertisement for it has not been good or even correct. Like, I have not seen a single trailer for it in cinema. And I go to the movies a lot. And the trailers that I have seen, you know, I had to look up. And they do not portray the movie accurately at all. Yeah, I like the design of the Max. It feels like a giant, fat burrito. And the paint job, like the base paint job on the Max, I really enjoy. Well, Wolf, for the Max, you know, you get 4 size 3s, all on those gimbals. For the CL, you get 2 size 4s. The turret on the CL is 2 size 3s, but it's at a weird angle. Like, it's 360 degrees, but, let me just get in the seat right quick. Let me get this thing off the ground and I'll show you.
Engines are on. Takeoff complete.
All right, so we're in the air and we're feeling kind of cool.
Landing gear raised.
We get to the gunner seat. You know, the Freelancer, you've got that arbitrarily restricted, what do you would call it?
Welcome to Robert aerospace industries.
Alright, how do we... Alright, so this is our bottom turret. Oh, it actually can go further. Alright. That was a bit more limited. Never mind, I take it back. So you got a bottom turret, but it was a bit more restricted on how far down it could go. I guess it's not. I will say you get a lot more missiles on the Zeus if you care about missiles. Because on the CL you get 8 size 2s. Well, the Max also gets 3 shields, I believe. Don't remember what this one gets. But yeah, it's not bad. All right. Sadly, I think I'm going to have to wrap up here. Sorry we didn't get to be on for very long. Had a few things that I had to do, and sadly woke up kind of late to do them. Now I've got to run to the store. See, Joe, that's also the thing. Like, Michael Bay cannot make a cohesive plot to save his life, but he can rake in money. It's weird that the more cohesive Transformers movies are the ones that have suffered the most. But all right, we're gonna wrap it up here. That I feel like that should have opened. Really feel like that should have opened. Also, does it feel like they should be able to, I don't know, recess into here? Like they gave it a design that shows it can fold in, but they never actually did it. Oh, Andre, I'm sorry. We'll be back again tomorrow, though. Maybe we'll have something cool to test, or I don't know, maybe play something else. We should go back to streaming Mech Warrior. That was fun the few times we've done it. But all right, you guys have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, hopefully tomorrow, keep on trucking. Have a good night, guys.